Thank you for the opportunity to address the Joint Extraordinary Summit. The past month has been incredibly painful for all of us. UNRWA, the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, is in mourning for 101 colleagues confirmed killed in Gaza. On Monday, United Nations flags worldwide will be at half-mast to honor the memory.
The UNRWA
across the Gaza Strip,
honors the memories of
people
21
have
of the
reportedly
staff
been killed, with the majority to be women and children. Many more are surely still under the rubble. The Israeli forces have pushed over 1.5 million people out of the north of the Gaza Strip. More than 700,000 women, children and men now live in UNRWA schools and shelter. I was in Gaza last week, my first time since the war started. What I saw will mark me forever. Every little girl and boy I met in an UNRWA shelter asked me for bread and water. Children used to learn and laugh in the school I visited. Now the school is an overcrowded shelter that lacks the minimum standard for a dignified life. The continuous bombardment together with the siege are choking Gaza and its people. Basic services are crumbling, everything is running out: food, water, medicine and fuel. And the dramatic development in Al-Shifa last night pushed many health staff and wounded people to leave. Excellencies, I have 13,000 colleagues in Gaza. Most are displaced. Many continue to work. They operate 150 UNRWA shelters. They keep 1/3 of our health center open and manage mobile clinic. They deliver medicine to hospitals. They deliver flour to bakeries and bring bread back to the shelter. My colleague Maha calls her job a mission impossible, especially when she tries to reassure her children every morning that they will not die. Excellency, today Gazans feel dehumanized and abandoned. They are yearning for reassurance, especially from their Arab and Muslim brothers and sisters, that they hear the crying of the children and see the fear in the eyes of the mothers. On Thursday, I addressed the international conference convened in Paris to support civilians in Gaza. I warned of the danger of double standard. I explicitly described the ongoing campaign aimed at dehumanizing Palestinians. I also firmly stated our position against the forced displacement of the people of Gaza, most of whom are descendants of Palestinian refugees. I cautioned against the spillover of the conflict into the region. The West Bank has reached a boiling point with the Israeli forces and settler violence claiming lives daily. The Lebanon-Israel border is simmering with tension. Excellencies, the Palestinians in Gaza have always relied on the Arab and Muslim world for solidarity. Today, they also need you to turn this solidarity into further and stronger action. I am seeking your support for 3 specific and urgent matters. First, to reach a humanitarian ceasefire with strict adherence to international humanitarian law. We must insist on protecting civilian and civilian infrastructure, including United Nations facilities and hospitals. This should be our recurrent request. I'm sure that many of you can influence action on the ground. No effort should be spared at this point. Second, a meaningful and continuous flow of humanitarian aid is essential. We must make the flow of supply match the immense humanitarian needs. But the logistics and the verification of trucks by Israel are extremely cumbersome. They only allow a limited number of trucks into Gaza. We must increase the volume of aid and use other crossings, including those within Israel, like Kerem Abu Salem. Third, UNRWA urgently needs funds and new voice. UNRWA is not only the largest UN agency in Gaza, but also the last remaining lifeline for 2.2 million people. We can offer much more if we have the means. I sincerely thank the countries that have already announced contribution for the generous response, and I respectfully call on other members of the League and the OIC to also show your solidarity by supporting UNRWA. I want to tell the people in our shelter that the Arab and Islamic world tasked us to help them and gave us the resource to do so. Finally, I need you to firmly defend the agency against false and insidious claims that its schools teach hatred or that it has let the civilians of Gaza down. This accusation comes from those who want us to fail. They fuel a toxic and deeply polarized environment. To conclude, we must also consider the day after a political solution has become a matter of life and death for millions of people. A genuine prospect of Palestinian statehood is critical. We must step back from the brink before it is too late. I urge you, members of the Arab League and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, to act now to change the trajectory of this crisis. With your support, UNRWA is ready to do its part. Thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to a channel to the latest news from RDZ World News.